Terrace ditches were constructed to intercept and discharge rainwater. In the early stage, excavated earth was used to construct a 1,500-meter-long, 19-meter-wide access road from borrow site number 6 to the fill area. This access road was used not only for setting up a conveyor belt, but also for vehicles to do some preliminary earth moving. The longest earth conveyor system of its kind ever built in Taiwan was then constructed along the north side of the access road. This giant conveyor belt was composed of a series of shift belt systems stretching over 3.3 kilometers from number 6 borrow site. It went over the access road, through Chengdai Road in Xinzhuang and the Wenzhou overpass to the earth filling area. The construction unit had proposed 3 alternatives for moving earth from the borrow site. One alternative was using trucks, another was using a giant conveyor, and the third was pumping sand. The proposal to use a giant conveyor belt was finally accepted. A huge earth funnel was constructed at the foot of the borrow area, the starting point of the giant conveyor belt system. This earth funnel was a cone-shaped structure with a height of 17.5 meters and a maximum diameter of 30 meters. The bottom of the 4 earth funnels, located on top of the conveyor belt structure, consisted of steel rail strip sieves. As earth was dumped into the funnel, gravel of less than 20 centimeters in diameter fell in through the slots onto the main conveyor belt. Gravel larger than 20 centimeters in diameter, sliding along the steel rail strips, were thrust onto a heavy movable steel chain screen below, and then slid onto another lower hopper. Below this hopper was a rock crusher to crush the bigger rocks into pieces of less than 20 centimeters. These were then sent to the landfill area by conveyor belt. Workers assembled the rollers set by set onto steel frames. The steel frame structure supporting the giant conveyor belt weighed a total of 1,207 tons. Next, the conveyor belt was installed on the rollers, which were actually composed of combinations of conveyor belts. In order to circumvent snags which naturally arise in land formation, the major conveyor belt required 4 turns. This belt was divided into 4 sections, M1, M2, M3, and M4, with each section forming an integral conveying system as well. The M1 conveyor belt subsystem was 360 meters long. At the starting point were branch conveying belts TC1 and TC2. There were also dump truck hoppers and crushers combined with loading facilities. The M2 conveyor belt subsystem was 151 meters long. Both ends were provided with transition points for direction changes. This subsystem was elevated in order to cross Chengdai Road and the Wugu Interchange Access Road. The conveyor belt subsystem M3 was installed at the west end of the Wugu Interchange. It then followed the terrain close to the ground to the M4 transit station for a total length of 816 meters. Conveyor belt M4 started from the transit station and followed the terrain close to the ground. It passed under the freeway bridge, turned at one point, and ended at the LC1 transit station. It had a total length of 201 meters. The giant conveyor belt system was this company's major earthwork conveying equipment for the Wugu Industrial Park project in Taipei County. On September 25, 1984, its assembly was completed and ready for official operation. The construction unit used 35-ton dump trucks for hauling and dumping earthwork into the funnel. When the start button of the giant conveyor system was pressed, all the invited dignitaries and spectators applauded and cheered. They marveled at the successful creation of a conveyor of such magnitude, capable of conveying earthfill at such speed without causing noise or air pollution. The giant conveyor belt system then immediately roared into operation to undertake the important task of conveying earthfill. The transport speed of the main conveying system was 240 meters per minute. Average conveying capacity was 2,500 tons per hour, approximately equivalent to 1,800 cubic meters per hour. Maximum conveying capacity was 3,000 tons per hour. This was the longest, most modern earthwork conveying system ever constructed in Taiwan. Looking down from the top of number 6 Borough area, the whole conveyor belt resembled a